Okay, for GMC motorhome owners, I did put in a new Dolphin gauge, and when I hooked it up it did not work right. It would not go over a quarter tank. So I pulled the sending unit, which in turn I did cut a hole in the floor. I made a plate to go over it, but I hooked it all up here. Turn on my power supply and then I check the gauge there. Of course, is it empty? And as we raise the gauge, or raise the float, the gauge goes all the way up. And that proves that a Dolphin gauge works on the original GMC sending unit. And the hookup is the same as it is in your book. There's a ground here, and of course another ground from the same terminal goes to the ground on the gauge. And the gauge, of course, has the ground on the bottom, has I for ignition on this side, and on the other side over here is S for sending unit. So the sending unit wire goes straight to the top terminal on your sending unit. That's the one with the cup that sets over it. And of course the other ground goes to more or less chassis ground, let's say, on the rim. And that's about it. Just to prove that it works, because I got the full Dolphin set. And yeah, let's just go here. Excuse me, that's on 13 volts. And do it one more time for you. So that would be about half tank. And then we go all the way to full. And she drifts slowly, she doesn't jar up. And even when you take the float, if you can see this, and wiggle it up and down, she doesn't jar up and down, she floats smooth. So my sending unit's working perfectly, the tank is nice and clean, and we're going to reinstall and check some wiring under the hood to make sure I have 12 volts going to the gauge, which I'm sure there's either a 12 volt problem or a ground problem where I'm not getting a good connection. And we're also going to take this off. It's all rusted up. It's a clip that goes on there, and I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to solder a terminal onto here to make sure we get a good ground connection. Okay, more videos to come from Freedom.